Good morning. Welcome to the Lancaster County Board of Commissioners meeting for Tuesday, December 12th, 2023. I am the chair, Christy Yoakum. To my right is Vice Chair, Commissioner Sean Flowerday. To my far right, Commissioner Roma Amundson. To my left is Commissioner Rick Vest, and to my far left, Commissioner Matt Schulte. Please rise and recite the Pledge of Allegiance with us. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Clerk, you may begin with the location announcement.
Location announcement of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act. A copy of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act is located at the wall at the rear of the hearing room. All written materials to be discussed at today's open meeting is available for electronic viewing from the county clerk's staff. Printing options are available upon request. These materials can also be viewed on the county's website at lancaster.ne.gov. Brings us to item 1, minutes. Approval of the minutes of the Board of Commissioners meeting held on December 5th, 2023.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. I see no further comment. Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Yoakum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 2, claims. Approval of the claims processed through December 12th, 2023.
Move approval. Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the claims. Please call the roll.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Yoakum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 3, consent items. These are routine business items that are expected to be adopted without dissent. Any individual item may be removed for special discussion and consideration by a commissioner or any member of the public without prior notice. Unless there is an exception, these items will be approved with one single vote of the Board of Commissioners. These items are the approval of A, grant contract with Mentoring Plus for mobile home sports program in the amount of $31,836. B, amendments to the following county contracts. C-21-0724 with Vigilant Solutions LLC for mobile license plate reader system software licenses. 2, C-18-0193 with the Home Depot USA Incorporated for maintenance, repair, operating supplies, industrial supplies, and related products. C, right-of-way contracts with the following. 1, Douglas D. Meinke, Southwest 142nd Street and West Stagecoach Road in the amount of $649. Crastal Farms Incorporated, Southwest 142nd Street and West Panama Road in the amount of $1,180. 3, Roger C. Johnson, Southwest 142nd Street and West Panama Road in the amount of $1,144. 4, Catherine C. and Marvin W. Nielsen, Northwest 140th Street and West Adams Street in the amount of $12.50. D, change order number 5 to county contract C-23-0451 with Pavers Incorporated to adding a location for patching. E, receive and place on file the following reports: the 2023 annual inventory of county personal property and county clerk. And finally, F, setting a public hearing on Tuesday, December 19th, 2023 at 9 a.m. in room 112 of the County City Building regarding a text amendment 23012 to amend the Lancaster County zoning resolution and Lancaster County subdivision resolution to require all new local streets in the county to be private roadways.
I move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent items. I see no further discussion. Please call the roll.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yoakum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Next is item 4. We have 2 public hearings. The first of which is amending the Lancaster County budget so that spending authority can be established for the Assemble Lincoln Convention Center Fund.
We will now open the public hearing.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do. Good morning, Dennis Meyer, County Budget and Fiscal Director. This public hearing is in regard to really adding a new fund to the county budget. So what this will do is is by adding a new fund, we don't have the ability to spend anything out of there until we establish spending authority. So for the remaining piece of this fiscal year, we're looking at setting that spending authority at $500,000. So that will be paid with either contributions to that fund as well as the possibility of a transfer from the county as well. As far as property taxes and everything like that, this will not affect that. It's just establishing the spending authority for a new fund.
Thank you for that explanation. Is there anyone else wishing to speak during this public hearing on this specific issue? Seeing none, we'll close that hearing and open the public hearing for the applications for Class C liquor license.
Item 4B, the applications for Class C liquor license for Seven Willows LLC, doing business as Seven Willows at 7600 Panama Road, Hickman. The corporate manager's liquor license for Heidi Wubbles.
Is there anyone here wishing to speak on this liquor license? Please come forward. And as this is a public hearing, you will need to swear in, state your name, sign in for the record. Thank you. Either side is fine.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your name.
Heidi Wubbles.
Good morning. We'd love it if you would tell us a little bit about your business.
Sure, thank you. So this has just kind of been a dream of ours that we've had for a few years. We currently live on a 30-acre horse farm right outside of Hickman, and just have always loved the wedding industry. I have two daughter-in-laws that both have degrees that deal with the wedding industry, and we are wrapping up construction on a 10,000 square foot raised center post and beam barn. It's been a lot of fun. We have an Amish crew from Pawnee City that's been doing a lot of the construction, and we have a little over 50 weddings booked already for 2024 and a few booked already for 2025, and we are very excited. My older two boys got married, and we just felt like there was such a need for just a fun, unique space that sat more than 250 people. Our barn will seat up to 400 guests, so we're just really excited about it.
I did have a couple of questions regarding the application. I don't know if anyone else does.
Sure.
One was I had a couple of concerns. One was, have you taken the training that's offered?
I have not, nope, but I have the Liquor Commission has sent me all the trainings. I actually paid for another service through a third party, so anyone that would do any bartending, we would provide them training as well, over and above just a couple-hour class.
Yeah, those are really important and,
For sure.
and really get you on the right foot and
Absolutely.
doing everything
We agree.
Correctly. And then the other was just points brought up by the Sheriff's Department, although they did not deny.
Sure.
They didn't think that warranted denial, and
Oh,
neither do I, but I just felt like that was.
Oh, and that was just on
important
my
to
part.
address.
Honestly, I've had a few speeding tickets in my days, nothing serious. And I put down a couple that I knew. And then when I realized, oh, they're meaning all, like, I don't even know how I would know or where I can look up what I had in college, or I'm pretty sure I got one in high school. So that was my error. I probably should have done more digging to get my full. So there were things left off there. But, and then the address, I took that as houses that we've owned. So we owned our first house in Waverly, and then we own this house now. So again, we've lived in rental properties prior to that Waverly address, but that was just, my interpretation was wrong on that. So, yeah.
Yeah, it was just a flag to me about like, will there be
I
compliance
know.
issues? But
little
thanks for
lead foot.
addressing that.
I've seen photos of your barn online. It looks awesome.
Oh, thank you.
When is your, like you said, 2024? That's like a few weeks away. So like, is this thing ready to go?
It is about ready to go. We have a family whose daughter's actually getting married December 30th, and the goal is she wants to just host her reception there, a small reception. So we're really pushing to get that done. We've had crews in there like Monday through Saturday working. They're wrapping up the HVAC, the fireplace. There's a beautiful 8-foot wide, 40-foot tall fireplace on the end, and that's getting stoned starting today. And all the walls are pretty much going to be done in shiplap. The exterior's complete, the sidewalks and the ADA parking stalls are all complete. The patio's getting poured today. We're excited, and we are so thankful. I mean, when do we have weather like this in December?
Exactly.
So I just think it's pretty incredible that the weather's cooperated so
Mhm.
well.
Right.
Yeah.
There-
Well, thanks for coming out. We're glad
Sure.
to see this business coming into Lancaster.
Yeah, we're excited. Thank you for your support.
Any other questions?
I do have
Yeah.
one, Heidi. If you could explain to me, the application says on and off sale.
Sure.
I don't know what that terminology.
I know, it probably does seem odd. We don't plan to operate like a liquor store and just sell alcohol out of our barn. I did talk to a gentleman at the Liquor Commission, and his recommendation for the C came because if we were to, say, gift a couple with a bottle of champagne as a, like, for their head table, like, just set it at the table, and they don't consume it all on our property, and say that bottle is half full or completely full, and they take it home, he just said the Class C really protects you for that. In those instances, yeah, we have no desire to be an off-sale store per se. We're only doing events on the weekends. But he just said a C would be a really good protective thing in case somebody does carry off even something that you've gifted them and doesn't consume it on site, which I didn't even understand. I probably wouldn't have even known to ask for a C unless he explained it to me that way. So, yeah, just so you guys have a little insight as to why we would ask for a C, that's why.
So the purpose is just at event, you're just going to do events and have alcohol available?
Yes, sir. Yes, we won't have like a storefront or where we're going to be. Yep, nothing like that.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
I can attest with Matt that Lancaster County needs all the spaces like this that we
Yeah.
could get. I mean,
Thank you.
talking to people who've been looking, so.
People are so excited. I think it's real fun when I get a phone call and they're like, "What is this? We didn't even know." And it's usually word of mouth, which I always say I think is the best advertising, you know. But it's been wildly popular. We have like if you follow Husker volleyball, Nicklin Hames is getting married at our barn in May, and
Well, that is cool.
yeah, we have a
That's very cool.
football player, and he's getting married to a UNO volleyball player, and pretty fun. We have a wedding that Herbie Husker's going to be at, so you know, I don't know.
I thought
Lots of Husker athletes getting married, but so I don't know. I just we have a large family, and when we were looking for our boys, like I said, it was unless you want to come downtown to like a hotel or you know a large space like that, it's hard to find something kind of more off the path and fun. So we had the space, and we're excited to do it.
Congratulations.
I didn't see anything in the application where planning or the sheriffs or anybody had an issue with the Class C, right? I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I am
I
too.
didn't see
Yeah.
that either.
Okay.
No one
Well, yeah,
objected to that.
yeah, because you,
It's-
clearly you've gone through all the plan with
Yes.
building the barn and everything.
For sure. You know, it's been quite the process.
Yeah, yeah.
Because, you know, we're zoned ag res out where we are. So you go to put a commercial property, it's been, I mean, man, we went almost through 9 months of just permitting. We had JEO involved, just, you know, helping us design everything and all the permits. And yeah, it's,
I'm going to make an assumption that if planning or the sheriff's department had concerns, we would get testimony of this.
Yeah, I think that's right.
yeah.
I think that's right. And I mean, if the Liquor Commission recommended this Class CT, I think we're good.
Yeah, okay.
I wonder how many of those university athletes met at the athletic table.
I know, right? I don't know. It'll be fun to see what happens. We're excited.
Is there anyone else present wishing to speak regarding this application? Seeing none, we may close the public hearing. Thank you.
Commissioners, that brings us to item 5, new business. First up, 5A, the resolution in the matter of supplementing the appropriations for the Assemble Lincoln Convention Center Fund in the amount of $500,000.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Please call the roll.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 5B, resolution in the matter of an application for a Class C liquor license for Seven Willows LLC, doing business as Seven Willows, and a corporate manager's liquor license for Heidi Wubbles.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 5C, a resolution in the matter of amending the Lancaster County Purchasing Manual to encourage county agencies to use their purchase authority to support local businesses when possible.
Yeah,
Do we have
please.
someone here to speak to this?
Morning.
Pete Kroll, Lancaster County Purchasing Agent. Pretty simple request, just asking to amend the purchasing manual to give a little bit good policy to go with good practice in terms of micro purchase authority to buy local. So
I believe this is a good
I
policy.
think it's a great policy in order to support the local businesses.
that's the goal.
I would move approval.
Sorry, can you just clarify a little, well, she made a motion.
Okay, we have a motion to approve.
I'll second.
We have a
so-
second. Is there any discussion?
No, and I think I'm in support of this. Can you just get into it a little bit, though, more about, like, this is providing an option, not necessarily a mandate, right?
Yeah.
Correct. So previously, under 10,000 under micro purchase authority, the requirement was that they go through and then document that they've gone through 3. And this is simply allowing the county agencies under the micro purchase authority, if they've looked at the purchase and they deem it reasonable, they can go ahead and move that forward from a local provider, local as in Lancaster County.
Just simplifies it, opens it up a little bit more easily to use local providers. That's great.
Okay,
Any other
thank you.
discussion? We have a motion and a second to approve. Please call the roll.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 5D, a resolution in the matter of adopting benefits for county employees in the unclassified service.
Hi, Ashley Bonet on behalf of the Lancaster County Attorney's Office. This item is also kind of in conjunction with item O, which are going to be changes to the personnel rules, which were heard in front of the Lancaster County Personnel Board last Thursday. Essentially, there's 2 parts to this. One is to clean up an area regarding the education loan forgiveness. That's already been passed, that's in the personnel rules, but it included the psychologist in the personnel rules. And they're not under that, they're not a classified employee, and so this is adding that. They would also receive that education loan forgiveness under this resolution. And the second part then is
Are we doing that?
what?
Aren't we already doing that?
Yes, but the problem was the psychologist was listed under the personnel rules, and it should have actually been in the resolution. So this is just a cleanup matter.
Okay, all right.
Any questions on that part of it?
No, our intention was clear.
Yeah, no,
Right, it's just we need to
I
make
feel like that conversation was old at this point, yeah.
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 And then the other part is new. It is a hiring bonus. Now it's going to apply to both individuals in the classified service, which you'll hear later, but also the clinical director and the psychologist. This is a hiring and retentive bonus. I believe Mr. Etherton is here and can speak more about that if you have questions, but it's the money through a grant through Region 5 is where the funds are coming from. This is not county money, and there's specific criteria that have to be met for the individuals to receive those bonuses. Do you have any questions about that?
I actually wouldn't mind hearing just Scott's explanation of it, although I'm certain that I'm going to be in support of it.
Good morning, Scott Etherton with Mental Health Crisis Center. I guess we're not really talking about the other one.
Not yet.
Not, so this is, this was a retention. I mean, everything I'm talking about here will apply to the other one later too. This is it was initially thought of as a hiring bonus, and it's moved into a retention bonus also for current employees. And this resolution here was to include any healthcare worker, any licensed healthcare worker, and under this one, it is the psychologist and psychiatrist that are in that area. It's clinical director in this designation, though, I guess. So. The money was $302,000 that came down through the state to the crisis center through the region to a 1-year grant to try to maintain current employees and to be able to hire what's needed in that period and such. So that's what this is about.
That's really helpful.
So.
Very helpful, and so just clarifying, the money's coming from the region, it won't come out of Lancaster County's.
The money was accepted at the beginning of July. We already have the money. It's in my fund,
Okay.
and so it can be used for whatever I designated it to that I thought was necessary to hire and maintain employment at the crisis center. And this would be the only thing that has been earmarked for it so far.
Yeah.
And this is-
These were funds that we had accepted
Yep.
previously for this
I remember
purpose,
talking
so.
Yeah, and I did have to go back to the region and the state to get approval for this type of not events, but
Use of funds.
man, I'm losing my can't think of the right term.
But
at
for the
moment.
specific
But yes,
use.
specific for this use.
Yeah.
So
And is this grant is a one-time, right? We don't anticipate it.
it is a one-time. The way that this is fashioned is for hiring. It would be at the beginning. Man, I can't think. Is it the beginning and then? For the retention, for what's appropriate on this current one, there would be a $5,000, half of it, it's a $10,000 in total. Half of it would be, I think, on January 4th, and then the other would come later on down.
Is there a window that all the money has to be used up in?
The grant was supposed to be used in that year time period from the fiscal year to fiscal year. We were trying to ensure that individuals who were hired or would try to stay for the length of time, and so in consultation with Dennis Meyer, we looked at extending that time frame for the second half of this award or further retention to after that fiscal year, but that would be money that would have to come out of my fund or be held in that fund for the next fiscal year also.
Yeah, the dates in here, Scott, are January 4th, 24, and December 19th.
And so,
24.
so the second half, the second $5,000 would be held until that period of time, and if they were still employed, then that would come out there. And that's where it goes. That's where this funding goes beyond the set of that grant. But we would say that we would keep we would have that money in my fund. Well, because it is a separate fund. Dennis thought that would not be a problem.
Okay.
Designated for this
Yes,
purpose.
yeah.
Really good.
See no further discussion. Thank you for that explanation. We have a motion.
We're on item D.
D.
Yeah, we already had
New
a mo-
business D.
I move approval of item D.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to approve. Please call the roll.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 5E, a resolution in the matter of adopting a policy governing the expenditure of public funds for plaques, certificates of achievement, items of value, and recognition of meals for elected officials, appointed officials, employees, and volunteers.
I move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Please call the roll.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. 5F, a legal engagement agreement with Klein Williams Wright Johnson and Oldfather LLP to provide professional legal services to Lancaster County.
Move approval.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Seeing no further discussion, please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. 5G, a grant contract with Domestipups to promote its I Love Dog Expo in the amount not to exceed $5,000 from the Visitors Promotion Fund.
Looking for him, I don't.
Yeah, I know.
When we were
I'm not doing it
briefed,
without Barney.
when we
No.
were briefed on this topic, we were lobbied by Barney, our county therapy dog, but I don't see Barney present today.
I think he felt like he did his duty. This is one of the promotion funds through the Visitor Promotion Group, and it will help this group, I Love My Dog, that's putting on their expo, to publicize so people will know what's going on in our community, and I would move approval.
You know where the expo's gonna be at?
LEC.
LEC, that's
Well,
what
no.
Oh, no, Sand Hills Global.
Sand
Sand
Hills
Hills
Global
Global.
Event Center, just so we're clear.
Got it.
Just so we're clear.
We,
I move approval.
I think we had a motion.
Okay, I'll second.
I'll second
Okay,
it.
we have a motion and a
I'll
second
second.
now.
Which do you want to do, Rob?
That's fine.
Please call the roll.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Best,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. 5H, an interlocal agreement with Lancaster County and the Board of Regents of the University of Nebraska on behalf of the University of Nebraska-Lincoln Institute of Agriculture and Natural Resources Cooperative Extension Division, Nebraska Extension, to allocate funding and resource responsibilities regarding the administration of the Nebraska Extension Education Program in Lancaster County.
Good morning.
Good morning. Dave Varner, Associate Director with Nebraska Extension. Welcome and good morning, Commissioners. So over 100 years ago, your local Farm Bureau and range organizations were lobbying county government to start the Nebraska Extension, the cooperative extension, in nearly every county across the state. And so what we're talking about today is actually an agreement that's been in place for over 100 years. So most recently, and actually it's been about 25 years ago is the last time a formal agreement that you have in front of you was signed between the University of Nebraska-Lincoln and Lancaster County and the rest of the counties across the state. In the spring of 2021, the NU Board of Regents updated the interlocal agreements. And so over the last almost 3 years now, we've been having conversations with each county across the state asking if we want to continue that agreement. And I'm happy to say we're about at the 89 or 90 mark, so we're almost at the finish line. So you know that you have an amazing extension program in Lincoln, Lancaster County, right? It's the flagship program of the state, truly. I know that because I cut my teeth in Nebraska Extension here about 35 years ago, so I'm very familiar with your program and its trajectory over almost 4 decades now. So what you have in front of you is a new agreement. I want to thank Dave Durbin, your legal counsel, Candace particular, Angela Scriven with your HR office, because we worked through some HR and some finance and some updates for the agreement as a part of this process. And today we're asking for your consideration to approve the new agreement.
Yeah, thank you for being here. We're going to be in agreement here on how excellent our extension program is and the services it provides to the youth of Lancaster County. Just deeply appreciate their efforts. Any specific points we should be aware of in this new agreement? Is there anything that is notable?
Yeah, most significant notable difference is the agreement that we're working on today is one in which all of the employees of the local extension office will eventually transition from county employees to university employees. So if you looked at today, it's probably about approximately half and half university employees, county employees. So the funding for those employees who transition to university will remain with Lancaster County. But support staff, extension assistants, as those individuals leave their or retire from their current positions, those positions will be open as university versus county positions. There are 2 positions where the individuals have less than 5 years with the county that we are working to transition to the university immediately.
I think that change is very significant in my mind. It's when an office has to handle with 2 different sets of HR, 2 different types of the structures, bosses. I mean, that just creates burdens on our staff when you're having to deal with 2 different entities. So consolidating it into one entity that's providing the overall leadership, I think, is a great move, and I'm very supportive of this for sure.
I think a lot of hard work's gone into this step, which will simplify for everyone. So, yeah, I would move approval.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second, and I just want to say, as has already been stated, we are extremely proud of the extension service here, and I'm so glad that the operations will be maintained and stay on track, and that this is truly just personnel switch over to simplify and unify that.
We are as well. I will just take a moment to introduce Cindy Zaludicki in the red sweater. So Cindy is our engagement zone coordinator. She oversees our metro counties, so Douglas, Sarpy, Lancaster County. Douglas, Sarpy have a very similar agreement. And of course, the very capable Karen Wobig, who has been your unit leader for some time now and just runs a top-notch organization and team in the Lincoln Lancaster County Extension Office.
Yeah, it is a great team. Please call the roll.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Best,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes,
Motion carries 5-0.
thank
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Item 5I, an agreement with the Nebraska State Patrol for the Lancaster County Sheriff's Office to provide tactical flight officer support to the Air Wing Division of the Nebraska State Patrol.
I know that's pretty self-explanatory. Terry Wagner, Lancaster County Sheriff.
It sounds pretty fun. Is what it sounds
I'm
like.
going.
Well, I'm with you. As you know, the Nebraska State Patrol has an air wing here based out of Lincoln. They are very responsive whenever we need air support, a helicopter or a fixed wing. They are able to provide that. When they take let's say a helicopter up, it requires two people, a pilot and somebody to run the cameras and the radios and all the other law enforcement type of equipment in there. And oftentimes they have used their pilots, so they'll have two pilots on board, one being the flight, the pilot itself, and the other handling all of the other things. Well, that they only have so many hours, and then they get houred out. So the plan is to train several of our deputies, several Lincoln police officers, as tactical flight officers to be able to operate all of that equipment in the aircraft. And then when the helicopter's called out, one of our employees will be on call that week, and they will respond, and they'll fly with State Patrol operating those systems. It really helps out because our deputies know the geographical layout of our streets. LPD officers know the geographical layout of Lincoln, certainly, and so this is really it's a huge benefit to Lancaster County for the support the state gives us, because they almost, unless the weather's bad or the helicopter's not here, they're up. And so they're very, 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 very responsive and very helpful, and this is a way that we can help support that program.
Is that second person not from the sheriff's department? Or is
No,
this-
they're both state employees, and usually they're both pilots. So even if they're not flying, but they're in the air, it counts against their flight hours, and then it hours them out.
So this frees up pilots to actually be pilots.
Exactly.
I think I heard in the news just this week that this group helped you guys out in a chase, right?
Well,
very
they're up
common?
all. I mean, yesterday I think there was a pursuit on the interstate. The State Patrol was involved, and it was up. And the same thing happened a couple of days ago on a pursuit that was coming from Beatrice, I believe.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're
assisting law enforcement every week, if not every day.
Yes, absolutely. And those, it's really nice to have friends with helicopters instead of owning a helicopter yourself.
right. There's
so-
a lot that goes with that, for sure.
Never want to be the guy who owns the boat. You always want to have the buddy who owns the boat. Right. Every
Yeah,
time.
we deeply
I think
appreciate
that-
that.
I
So,
think this is really a good strategic move.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a way to. I thought when the colonel first started talking to me, I thought we were going to have to start putting some money into the fuel budget or whatever the case may be for the helicopter, and I think this TFO is a. I'm with you, Commissioner Flowerday. I think this would be fun. I would love to do it. Yeah, so it's a great way to be a good partner with them in this program.
amen.
We appreciate their partnership.
Yep, we do. Thank you.
I would move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Seeing no further discussion, please call the roll.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Best,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Brings us to 5J. The following contracts for the annual supply of motor oils and lubricants with Sapbros Incorporated, Safety Clean Systems, and Nebraska Iowa Supply.
Move approval.
I'll second.
We have a
Oh,
motion and a
Pam.
second. Good morning.
Good morning,
hear
Lancaster
Pam.
County Engineer Pam Dingman. This is our annual contract. We do buy a variety of lubricants and oils for our machines. And it's just one more item to keep the county going. It's hard to imagine that it does approach $50,000 a year, but that is what it is.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any further questions? Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Brings us to item 5K, a recommendation from the county engineer to award a contract to Pavers Incorporated for the annual supply of asphaltic concrete in the amount of $50,000.
Pam Dingman, Lancaster County Engineer. We in the county like to do hot patches. Sometimes in the winter you do have to do a cold patch. We have a heated asphalt box. As we go get the asphalt, it's best if it's more than 165 degrees when we lay it down. And so we go pick that up and we take it out and do hot patches. They're known to be better patches and longer lasting patches. And this is for the hot asphalt that we go pick up from Pavers.
Move approval.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Brings us to item 5L, a recommendation from the Assemble Lincoln Standing Committee regarding funding of upfront project costs for convention center development.
And I've been receiving frantic texts from the Assemble Lincoln Standing Committee Chair, who is encountering a personal emergency this morning. So he regrets that he is not here at the moment. He actually is still on his way and trying to get here. But so this is, I'll explain a little bit about what this is. We've already talked about it last week, but this is the recommendation from the Assemble Lincoln Standing Committee regarding the county portion of funding for the upcoming convention center development. This will go specifically to the payment of the consultant, which is the next item on the agenda here. The request is for $335,000 of, I'm going to say ARPA interest dollars, because those are unrestricted funds, and it would go directly into the fund with the spending authority that we did earlier in this that Dennis explained. None of this is property tax dollars. This is interest generated from the ARPA dollars that came to us. It's federal dollars, and there is a subcommittee of the Assemble Lincoln Standing Committee, the partnership development team, that is out there right now working to raise another $165,000. So the county's portion is $335,000, and there's another $165,000 that's being raised from community groups like the Community Foundation, Lincoln Community Foundation, Lincoln Chamber, Downtown Rotary, Downtown Lincoln Association. All of these groups are in conversations. I've actually already had conversations with NACO and the League myself about them contributing to it as well. So I anticipate there's been a lot of support for this in the community, and a lot of community partners coming forward to help get us there.
The interest off of those ARPA dollars is certainly an added bonus to do local development like this without using tax dollars that we wouldn't have been able to do otherwise.
Right. So.
Tell us, Sean, a little bit about what the, not the committee, but the group we're going to be hiring is going to be doing.
Sure. So CSL Legends this is the same consultant that helped the city of Lincoln, and it's almost maybe better if we talk about that on the next item. But CSL Legends is the same group that helped the city of Lincoln develop the initial plans for the arena. And so they're familiar with the community. They're going to help take us through the RFLIs that we've already received to the committee. We've received 4 RFLIs. We've discussed that already. They're going to take us through an open house process so the public can see what are the different options that are being evaluated, give their input on what they want to see out of a convention center, and where, and both what and where. And then they're going to lead us through the RFP process. This is really supposed to be kind of a beginning to end. The consultant will hold our hands and provide their expertise to the committee and to the county all the way through it. And I'm really heartened by the fact that it's a consultant that knows our community. It specifically is it is literally the same woman who helped this community get to the PBA arena is the same person who has been assigned this project. So it's familiar faces and people who know our community and have had success here.
Did you want to mention the funding mechanism that will allow the building of this convention center? So one of the fact that the county receives the lodging tax, or you're talking about the turnback tax application. That's what you're talking about. Sorry.
Yeah, so there was a law passed, we've talked about it a few times in this room before. There was a law passed last legislative session that reopens turnback tax applications and makes our community available to potentially receive a real infusion of state dollars for this. None of this will be property tax dollars. None of this comes from that. The turnback tax is state sales tax that then is returned to the project, and a portion of that, 1/3 of that of those dollars goes to a different fund for smaller community centers and projects that can help, and already has helped, communities like Waverly, Ashland, Hickman. All these have received funding in the past. And so, it's been a really good partnership so far but from the community to the state to the federal level. Congressman Flood's office has been helping us with this as well. So it's been a group effort.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then the lodging tax is the county's real incentive in this. We build a hotel, or we build a convention center. We collect the hotel tax, and it increases our improvement fund and promotion fund, which lets us then generate more.
A lot more revenue into the community.
Right.
Do we have a motion for item L?
I would move that we accept the Assemble Lincoln Standing Committee recommendation, and we allocate $335,000 of ARPA interest dollars to the, what did we call it, Dennis? The Assemble Lincoln Convention Center Fund.
I would second that, and just the points that Commissioner Flowerday has made about this infusion of cash from the state. It's really almost a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for our community to move forward, and we all know that if we don't move forward, it will have a dramatically negative impact on our community. All we have to do is look at Pinnacle Bank Arena, the difference between it and Pershing Auditorium. We know that steps like this are important for the future of our community, so I second.
We have a motion and a second to approve this recommendation. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Oh, go ahead.
Brings us to item 5M, a recommendation from the Assemble Lincoln Standing Committee to approve a letter agreement with Convention Sports and Leisure International LLC, doing business as Legends Project Development, CSL, to perform professional site selection services for the Convention Center project.
And so then this is the vote on the contract with the CSL Legends consultant that we discussed. Both our friend Candace from the County Attorney's Office and Dave Durbin have looked through this already, and yeah, I think I would move approval.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve. I see no further discussion. We've been pretty well apprised of this as it's continued to move along, so thank you. You please call the roll.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Brings us to item 5N, approval of the updated electronic device surplus policy.
Move approval?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Brings us to 5O, recommendations from the Personnel Policy Board to amend the following. 1, Rule 17.24 for education loan forgiveness, and 2, Rule 17.27 for a hiring or retention incentive. Excuse me.
Want to speak to this? Thank you.
Hi.
We've got a lot of festive ties in the chambers this morning.
I think Scott
Celebrating
wins, so
holidays.
my vote's for Scott. Tie of the
I didn't
bar.
bring the Grinch one. That was last week. So, but, Scott Etherton, Mental Health Crisis Center. This is the hiring bonus and retention that we discussed earlier, but this is as it applies to the RN position, the nursing supervisor, and the mental health clinician too. And so everything else is the same. The funding's the same. It's all attached to that and such. So
We know we've had had trouble maintaining staff, filling these positions when there were vacancies. This is going to be really important.
This, and that's what started this whole discussion. This does not include all the full-time employees of the crisis center. It only includes the licensed healthcare workers. And that's true of the earlier resolution and this one. So it is 9 positions in total.
I move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Please call the roll.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Next item I have is item 6, which was reserved for an executive session.
I move that we go into executive session for the purpose of legal advice and union negotiations and to protect the public interest at 9:47 a.m.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to go into executive session at 9:47 a.m. Please call the roll.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries. We're in executive session.
I move that we come out of executive session at 10:24 a.m.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to come out of executive session at 10:24 a.m. Please call the roll.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Next on the agenda is item 7, public comment. Those wishing to speak on items related to county business not on the agenda may do so at this time.
Is there anyone present wishing to speak during public comment on items that are not on our agenda but relate to county business? If so, please come forward. And we will ask you to sign in. You'll see the indicator that gives you 5 minutes. Please state your name
Okay.
for the record.
All right, my name is Lori Hoyt, and I'm here to hand you some documents about the election. Do I hand them to you? Okay, I don't have a cover letter on them, so I was going to go ahead and take that home and then do a cover letter for all of that. Okay. So here's a summary of it. Lack of certification as required. Imperative for certification due to use of COTs linked to foreign nations. Certification company, networking companies also linked to federal influence and foreign influence and Soros. Process of anonymization as the means and vehicle for how they reallocate the votes to whatever races they desire. Case study, Ukraine, showing how COTs are used for backdoor access to reallocate votes during the anonymization, cleansing, then encryption, decryption phase. I'm sorry. I'm a little nervous. Integrity of our votes depends on honesty of the two parties that hold the encryption and decryption key. Example, Seidel and Dominion. And the trust that they haven't been influenced by bad actors, foreign or domestic. Those few that know the encryption, decryption, I can't even say that word, parameters and commitments, if asked to verify this encryption, decryption process is true, they can easily fake the proof. This equals zero integrity of the vote. We can't prove the cheat. They also can't prove they aren't cheating. This is a huge vulnerability. Above example aside, most use of algorithms can be detected since they are 1 point heavy. This is evidenced in the voting data presented from the contested states. Reports from several expert groups testing for machine vulnerabilities and evidence of hacking show that delays in voting or in vote counting are evidence of algorithm breaks and resets. In extreme cases, the physical key holder must show up at counting locations to reset the algorithms. This is evidence in foreign election examples as well as the 2020 election across multiple contested states. The last part I'm still trying to get a handle on. GEMS, defense, communication, vulnerabilities, state data, election data linked to foreign servers knowingly and unwillingly. And I think that would be the cover letter. That's all I've got. We need these machines out of our elections. We need paper ballots. We need same-day voting. You know, my vote is very important to me, and I know your votes are very important to you as well. And if I don't have confidence in the vote, then I don't really even want to vote anymore. Is that called disenfranchised? Because I've voted since I've been 18. And I don't, unless these machines are out, I really don't want to vote anymore. So, that's all I've got.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
Is there anyone else wishing to speak during public comment today?
Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing. We are not a democracy. We are a constitutional republic. Who are the rightful sovereigns in a constitutional republic? The people. Our Constitution starts out, "We the people, grateful to Almighty God for our freedom, do ordain and establish the following Declaration of Rights and frame of government as the Constitution." In other words, as the supreme law of the state of Nebraska. Article 1, Declaration of Rights. All persons are by nature free and independent and have certain inherent and inalienable rights. Among these are life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, the right to keep and bear arms for security or defense of self, family, and home, etc. And such rights shall not be denied or infringed by the state or any subdivision thereof, as was done during the 3-year COVID scam. To secure these rights and the protection of property, governments are instituted among people, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. In our constitutional republic, then, government exists for one reason: to secure our rights. Government servants exist for one reason: to secure our rights. These government servants are determined by the consent, or those government servants are determined by the consent of we the people. At least that's how it's supposed to work. What happens when our consent is being subverted and manipulated by secret vote counts? What reason is there for secret vote counts other than to subvert and manipulate elections? Manipulated elections are a very serious crime. Manipulated elections, whether by direct intent or by a failure of the checks and balances, which is all of you, to do their job and prevent manipulation, constitutes treason. Why? Because it constitutes the overthrow of the rightful sovereigns of our constitutional republic, which is we the people. What happens when government ceases to serve the ends for which it was created? The Declaration of Independence gives us our answer. Whenever any form of government becomes destructive of the ends for which it was created, namely the securing of our rights, it becomes the right of the people to alter or to abolish that government and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. There is still time to repent. God is long-suffering. He is not willing that any should perish. It remains to be seen if any of you have ears to hear. You can hear if you choose to. Or you can continue to sell your birthright for bread, for a measly loaf of bread and a bowl of pottage, as Esau did. After all, your pottage, your wages and benefits for your part-time job, are pretty good. But all of that is temporary and very fleeting in the grand scheme of things. The day comes to all of us when we must give account before God. The time for choosing sides will have ended by that time. I urge you, today, if you will hear his voice, harden not your hearts. You may not hear it again. It is not the hearers of God's word who are justified, but the doers thereof. Whosoever, and this is my final sentence, Whosoever does not love their neighbor as themselves shall find themselves weeping and gnashing their teeth for all eternity. Let it be written, let it be so.
Is there anyone else wishing to speak during public comment today? Seeing none, we will close the public comment period.
Item 8, announcements. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners will not hold a staff meeting on Thursday, December 14th, 2023, due to attending the Nebraska Association of County Officials Annual Conference in Kearney. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners will hold the following meetings on Tuesday, December 19th, 2023, starting at 9 a.m. in room 112 at the County City Building. The regular Board of Commissioners, Board of Equalization meeting immediately following the Board of Commissioners meeting, and a special staff meeting immediately following the Board of Equalization meeting. County Commissioners can be reached at 402-441-7447 or commish@lancaster.ne.gov. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners meeting is broadcast live on LNK TV. LNK TV is available on Allo Channel 2 and Spectrum Channel 1300. For the rebroadcast schedule, visit lincoln.ne.gov. Meetings are also streamed live on YouTube and Facebook. LNK TV apps are available on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV. Item 9 is adjournment.
Move we adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. Please call the roll.
Best,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.